Hi, this is Mrs. Kidman, and in this video, we're going to be talking about different types of proofs that we see in math. Now, there are lots of different types of proofs that we see, but we're going to talk about how we write them. The two most common ways that you will see a proof written is either as a two-column proof or a paragraph proof. Now, there are also other types of proofs like flowchart proofs, but those aren't something that we see very common, so we're not going to address them in this video. Now, a two-column proof is like what it sounds like. We have two columns. On one side, we have a statement. And then on the other side, we have a reason. And when it comes to statement and reasoning, basically what it's saying is the statement side is the math side that we always calculate. It's going to be that if we have something like 2x plus 7 equals 4. Well, the reason why, that's what they gave to me. And then what do we do when we solve this? Well, I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides, and I get 2x equals -3. Okay, now then we would divide by 2 on both sides, and we get x equals -3/2. Great. Now what happens is when we're doing these proofs, what we see is we have our statements. And then the reason underneath is why can we do whatever that thing is? So let's take a look here and talk about this step. Why can I subtract -7 from both sides? Well, there's a property that is called the subtraction property of equality that says I can subtract something from the same number from both sides and it still remains equal. Why can I divide by both sides? That's right. The division property of equality also says that. So under this reason side, we would write down the subtraction property of equality, the division property of equality, things like that, and they will give us our reasons for step by step. Now, when we write these proofs, we don't write the middle step. So what we would see is we would see this 2x plus 7 equals 4 and 2x equals -3. Well, how do we know 2x equals -3? By the subtraction property of equality. And then we would look at that next step and say, oh, by this equality. Now, two-column proofs are great if we're like trying to fledge out our ideas, get things written. A paragraph proof is exactly what it sounds like. It's a paragraph. So, for example, with this same question, what would happen is in a paragraph proof, you would give your statement and then your reason behind it. So you would say, given 2x plus 7 equals 4, then by the subtraction property of equality, I can subtract 7 from both sides and I get 2x equals -3. Then by the division property of equality, I can divide both sides by 2 to get x all by itself, and then x equals -3/2. Now I would write that in a full sentence here. I'd write out all of this stuff that I just said, and that would be our paragraph proof. Now it says the same things as our two-column proof, but it's written out in long words. And that's what happens when people end up publishing work in math, is they write these paragraphs proving these different things. They don't typically use two-column proofs. That's how they might outline it, but they use a paragraph proof to explain. Because of this, I can do this. And once I do this, I can see this. And so those are the two most common types of proofs that you're going to see throughout math. There are other types, but these are the two most common. In our class, we're mostly going to be dealing with two-column proofs, but be aware that you can always write a paragraph proof and it will be correct. Just make sure that your paragraph proofs also include a statement and a reason, because those are the two key parts of a mathematical proof.